What is going on with the Seattle Mariners bullpen? I'm going to break it down today on Mariners Daily. Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Edwards. Thanks so much for being here on the show. I appreciate it. The bullpen has been an interesting topic as I was diving into it, especially comparing it to last year. Going into it, it just felt like this was going into the research, going into the comparison, it felt like this bullpen was so much worse than last year, and then I looked at the stats, and things are not necessarily lining. It's a problem, and it's different from last year, and it's kind of an interesting situation. So, overall, as a bullpen, we have not been as bad as I was expecting. Going into this episode, I was like, okay, let's dig into this bullpen and talk about the big problems that we have. So let's compare the overall stats like we normally do for any other big topic, whether it's starting pitching or hitting overall, whatever it is. Compare it to last year, see what's going on, why is that happening, all that good stuff. Now, when I compared the stats, we're not too far off from last year. We've got a team bullpen. This is team stats right here. So far this season, obviously it hasn't been a full season yet, but we are about there. A 23 K percentage, an 8.6 walk percentage. Now, that K percentage is ranked 13th in the majors this year, and the walk percentage is 5th in the majors. So, still one of the best walk percentages. And I say still because literally just last year, we had a team bullpen K percentage of 22.6, slight tick down from this year, and an 8.5 walk percentage, almost exactly the same last year as it was this year. So what about the run prevention? Is that the same? Well, we've got a 3.97 ERA for the team bullpen so far this season. 3.97 ERA, 3.82 FIP. Our ERA is ranked 14th in the majors this season, and the FIP is ranked 4th of all other bullpens. Now, last year it was a better ERA, 3.72 ERA, but a 3.90 FIP, which is 10th, which was 10th in the majors. We were ranked 9th in the majors in ERA last year, which is once again, like honestly, like not too big of a difference. And the fact that we have a better FIP this year than we did last year is kind of mind-boggling to me because overall it has felt like we've had that much worse of a bullpen. That's what it's felt like. I don't know how it's felt like for you, but the feeling versus the stats is a huge difference. And overall, our bullpens have it's been very comparable, but there's a key difference. And there's a key difference why I don't feel as confident in this team, even if we did find a way to rally and make it to the playoffs this season. There's a reason why I would not feel half as confident in this bullpen as I did in last year's bullpen. Why is that? Well, the problem. Let's get into it. Now, Gabe Spire is definitely the problem. He's definitely part of the problem. I would say him and Matt Brash are a big reason for the problem. Now, let's talk about Spire first. Talked about Spire about a month ago, and he's got the same problems. He's got the same problems overall this season. He's got 32 and a third innings pitched so far this season. He's got a 20.9 K percentage and a 9.4 walk percentage. Comparing those numbers to last year, he has doubled his walk percentage. It has gone from 4.5 to 9.4, and he has lost 13% of his K percentage. He's striking out people 20% of the time this year. Last year, it was 33.7. Ever since he has joined the Mariners, he's been at 30%, right around 30% K percentage. We've seen the walk percentage fluctuate before, so that's not a huge shocker. But the fact that the K percentage has dropped as much as it has is insane. And he is still limiting runs as of right now, a 278 ERA overall. That is on the back of a very low BABIP, 258 BABIP, and a pretty high left on base percentage at 80%. Very, very high. Or I mean decently high. 80% is is good. Last year, he was right around more manageable levels, 271 BABIP last year and a 76.9 left on base percentage. Now, those aren't huge differences. The huge difference is the K percentage and the walk percentage as well. All that contributes to he's got a 278 ERA, which is good, but a 417 FIP is the story. That tells a good part of the story. And the biggest piece here is that the slider is not getting half as many whiffs as it used to. The whiff percentage drop on the slider is crazy. The strike percentage has dropped on the slider. He's had to throw it for called strikes more often than swinging strikes, which is not what you're expecting from a guy like Gabe Spire. Hard throwing lefty with a good fastball, decent sinker, but a really good slider. And he's not getting those whiffs. And the reason he's part of the problem, as with Brash has obviously been injured, so we can't point to any logical, or like any any performance issues. The big problem here is the top of the bullpen. Last year, we had Munoz, we had Brash, we had Spire, we had Bizzardo. I was four guys going into the playoffs. We were going to live and die with these guys on the mound. And we did. We did. But I was okay with it. You're okay to live and die with those guys. Now, obviously, going into the bowl, going into the offseason, the depth was a huge aspect that I was focused on because we had the great performers. We knew that, a guy like Bizzardo was going to take a step back, but I obviously didn't expect Spire to take this big of a step back. Now, we did improve the depth, and honestly, I think that's what's still working, truthfully. I'm going to get to Andres Munoz in a second, but I do just want to say the depth this year, I think, is better than last year. The depth meaning the amount of innings that we relied on for Casey Legumina, Trent Thornton, and Carlos Vargas. Not good innings of last year. And those were a lot of innings. Those guys we relied on quite a bit. And luckily, we have been able to change hands enough and give it to guys that have done better than them. Which is not saying a whole lot, but they have done better. I think Michael Rucker is a better pitcher than, Casey Legumina was last year. He is better. Rucker, as much as I like to beat up on him, has not been terrible. He's got the 491 ERA. That's the bad part. 491 ERA, not great. 343 FIP though. And that speaks to the K percentage, which is a nice healthy 27%. The walk percentage, 8.1%, which is not terrible. It's a little high, but it's not terrible. 324 BABIP, a little high. And a 55 left on base percentage. Both of those, if he's consistent and if he is a good starter, if he's a good reliever, those should come back to manageable levels. Left on base percentage should be at least 10% higher. At least. And he does have a decent ground ball percentage at 47% as well. Now, he's only pitched 25 innings, so it's not like a full season, but he's done some things. He's done some things. He has shown some value. Jose Ferrer, while he has not been as good as I was hoping he would be, he has been better than Carlos Vargas, Trent Thornton, Casey Legumina. The depth in this bullpen has brought the pack up a good amount. But depth doesn't really get you through the playoffs. It can get you to the playoffs, but the lack of top tier talent and the ability to shut down, three of the best hitters on the freaking Dodgers or three of the best hitters on the Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, whoever you want to point to, Tampa Bay Rays, who we just played. The lack of ability to do that in the playoffs is that much more heightened. And I think that's where we're lacking. Andres Munoz is an interesting case because on face value, he's having a much worse season. 4.37 ERA over 485 innings pitched so far this year. 288 FIP, which is good, but not as good as last year. Last year, he had a 173 ERA, 243 FIP. Now, the FIP is really not that different. I mean, 0.4, 0.40. It's not that big of a difference. So, what's going on here? He's made some changes. He's a different pitcher so far this year. 45 innings pitched, a 37 K percentage. Oh man, did I write down the same? I wrote down the same numbers. Oh no, and I don't have my phone on me. Son of a biscuit, dude. Oh my gosh. The K percentage has increased. I believe last year was right around 33%. I don't have the number written down right now. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, but I know for a fact that it's about a 5% difference on the K percentage. He's striking out people more this year than he was last year. Home runs are up though, 1.19 home runs per nine compared to last year, which was 0.29. The BABIP is way higher, 337 BABIP compared to last year, which was 248. I think with time, the BABIP will come down. Left on base percentage is lower this year, 67.9. That's unlucky. Last year it was at 76%. He should at least be at 70% left on base percentage. Home run per fly ball is way higher, 18.8 home runs per fly ball percentage, because the hard hit metrics are increased. 8.9 barrel percentage this year compared to 6.6 last year. 88.1 exit velocity compared to last year, which was 86.9. So he's giving up harder contact. Why? What's going on? Well, slider, four seam sinker, that's what he does. We're not seeing huge differences in the slider. Not huge. He's getting more swinging strikes on the slider, but less called strikes. So I'm okay with that. Keep it out of the zone. 27% swinging strike percentage this year compared to 25% last year. It's not a huge difference, but it's enough. And the O swing percentage has taken a 10% increase, which is actually huge. 48% O swing on the slider compared to 38% last year. Important. I think the slider's doing better this year. I'm happy with it, despite the CSW percentage going down 2%. Going from 40% last year to 38% this year on the slider. I'm okay with it because these people are swinging out of the zone more, and that means it has less likely a chance to get crushed. So good on that. Four seamer. Four seamer's interesting. It is being more effective. It is. He's throwing it a little bit more this season than last year. It's not getting as many swings out of the zone, 23 O swing percentage compared to 25% last year. The strike percentage is right there, 66% this year, which is healthy. Swinging strike percentage is up 1%, 10.3 swinging strike percentage. And this called strike percentage is up 3% this year compared to last year, which is encouraging. And it's not getting hit harder this season. The biggest difference has been the sinker. Now the sinker, he's using it about 4% less. He threw it 12% last year. He's using it 4% less this year, but it's getting more swings out of the zone. O swing percentage has gone from 25% to 29% this year. Swinging strike percentage is better this season, only a little bit, but 6.6 swinging strike percentage compared to 5% last year. But the called strike percentage has gone from 20% last year to 31% this year. 11% increase is not nothing on the sinker. Not nothing. The problem is it's getting crushed. It's the surface stats are getting crushed this season. A 452 WOBA and a 427 expected WOBA this season against the sinker, compared to last year, which was a 310 WOBA and a 290 expected WOBA. He threw it more last year and it's getting hit harder this year. Except not exit velocity wise. It's an 80 exit velocity this season compared to 87 last year. I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know what's going on. It's not getting hit as hard, and yet it's getting hit hard. And yet people are making more contact on it. So I really don't know what's happening. I think he's just throwing it in the zone more, which I don't really know why. I don't know why he needs to, especially with the slider and four seamer still doing as well as they are. Long story short, I think Andres Munoz is going to be fine. I think he's effective. I do not trust that 4.37 ERA. I think he's going to be totally fine. In a 2.88 FIP, I think speaks to that. The fact that he's striking out as many people as he is, and I think the BABIP is too high and the left on base percentage is too low. I think Munoz is going to be totally fine. The strikeouts are still there. He's still getting more than enough whiffs. He's not getting crushed. I know the barrel percentage and exit velocity are technically higher this season than they were last year. I don't think he's going to be like last year. Last year was an elite season. That is, it's insane. You're not going to repeat that unless you are, consistently, you're in the upperclassmen of relievers. I think Munoz is very good. I don't think he's the Hall of Famer. And you would have to be if you're going to repeat 2025 multiple times. So I do expect this step down, but he's still really good. And so is the depth. The depth of this bullpen is kind of the story here. Luzardo is still doing his thing. It's a slight step down from what he did last year, but nobody, nobody expected him to replicate what he did last year. I don't think. I didn't. I would love to hear what you guys think. But the depth is better this season than it was last year, but the top of the bullpen isn't as good. And like I said, Matt Brash is a big reason for that, and he is still not healthy. We're still waiting for him and Chriswell to get healthy. Brash is still on the IL with a right lat strain. He's working through his recovery right now. Had his first bullpen session. But they're still projecting late August, which they were projecting after the trade deadline. Back in July, they were like, all right, so like after the trade deadline, most likely Brash and Chriswell should be back soon. Now we're looking at the end of August. So when they're going to come back, I do not know. It's going to be a minute. Chris Wells working on his own right shoulder strain. He was on the 60-day IL, so we could figure out this roster. He's resumed throwing and playing catch, but he is a step back from Brash from being ready. So how much more Chris will we see this season? I don't really know. Probably not that much. Brash is a big miss. He only threw 47 innings last year, but it's been even worse this season. He just cannot get healthy, which is going to hurt our bullpen. And I'm losing faith by the day, despite the good weekend. So we'll see what happens in this upcoming series versus the Brewers. I'll be here to review it. Have a great day, guys. I think I'm going to be off tomorrow. I got family coming in tonight, but we'll see what happens. I might be able to get one through. Get one past the goalie. We'll see what happens. But if not, I'll see you on Thursday. Have a good one.